Welcome to our video on vector illustration. In this tutorial, we will be discussing the most common mistakes that beginners make in vector illustration and how to avoid them. Vector graphics are an essential part of graphic design, and with the right skills, anyone can become an expert in creating stunning vector illustrations. However, it is not uncommon for beginners to encounter a few bumps on the road when it comes to vector illustrations, but don't worry. We are here to help you avoid these mistakes and become a pro in no time. Hi, and welcome to this tutorial on vector illustrations. Vector illustrations are essential for anyone wanting to go into graphic design and can be an exciting and creative journey. However, as with any art form, it is easy to make mistakes. In this video, we will take a closer look at the 5 most common mistakes beginners make and how to avoid them, so let's get started. Mistake number 1, no sketches or plans. One of the most common mistakes beginners make when starting vector illustrations is jumping into it without any sketches or plans. When you don't have a solid plan, your illustration can end up looking disorganized and unappealing. To avoid this mistake, make sure you take the time to sketch your ideas before starting the vector illustration process. In this way, you will save time, avoid frustration, and have a clear vision of what you are creating. Mistake number 2, too many colors. Another mistake beginners make when creating vector illustrations is overusing colors. It's essential to note that the number of colors in your vector illustrations has a direct impact on the final outcome. Using too many colors can make your illustration look garish and cluttered. To avoid this mistake, use a limited color palette when creating your vector illustrations. This will give your work a more coherent look and feel and make it more visually appealing. Mistake number 3, ignoring the grid. Often, beginners ignore the grid when creating vector illustrations. The grid is the foundation of vector illustration, and ignoring it can lead to misaligned elements in your illustrations. When this happens, it gives your artwork an unprofessional look. To avoid this mistake, always create your illustrations on a grid. This will ensure that all elements are correctly spaced and aligned, resulting in a fantastic final product. Mistake number 4, using too many effects. Adding effects is fun and can help make your vector illustration stand out. However, many beginners overdo it and add too many effects. Using too many effects can make it challenging to recognize the object's main focus, leading to a disorganized and confusing image. To avoid this mistake, limit your use of effects and choose only those that work well with your illustration. Mistake number 5, poor vector paths. The vector paths in your illustration determine the quality of your final work. With poor vector paths, the edges of your illustrations will be pixelated and will not look good. To avoid this mistake, ensure that all your vector paths are correctly drawn. Take the time to refine them and ensure they are smooth and clean. This will enhance the quality of your final product and make it stand out. Outro. And that's it. We have discussed the 5 most common mistakes beginners make in vector illustrations and provided excellent tips for you to avoid them. Remember always to plan your artwork, use a limited color palette, create your illustrations on a grid, limit the number of effects, and ensure that your vector paths are correctly drawn. With these tips, you'll be sure to create fantastic vector illustrations that will wow your audience. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy designing!